Vanakkam Puducherry, Nalla irukingla? And if it is Puducherry, I have to give a French flavor to the discussion, right? So Puducherry, como allez-vous? Right. So today we are going to talk about Puducherry. We all know that in Puducherry, the Congress government has fallen. And now the BJP, the ADMK, they are all weighing their options. Right? In this particular discussion, we are going to talk about the Puducherry politics in general, what exactly happened. And from this particular discussion, we are going to take out some insights for political science and international relations for sure. But in general, if you're preparing for some competitive exam, and in particularly for UPSC civil service examination, there are some things or some strategies that you need to take here from BJP also. Now, this is very, very interesting. You must be wondering, what can I learn from BJP for the exam perspective, right? We'll talk about the strategy and we'll talk about the different plan and strategies that BJP has used, which perhaps you can use in your exam also. Let's talk about all these things. But before that, I am your friend Rahul Saigaonkar. If you want to follow me, you can follow me on the ID Rahul Sai 222. My Facebook, Instagram and Telegram channel ID is same. If you want to connect with me, if you have any query, if you want any explanation, you can directly message me on Instagram. I do reply on Saturdays and Sundays. Apart from that, Study IQ has a smart course for you for UPSC prelims and mains. Both there is EMI facility available on our platform. For more information, download the app or you can also visit our website studyiq.com. Right, let's first talk about the news. With just 3 months left for Puducherry elections, the Puducherry Chief Minister V. Narayanasamy has resigned. His Council of Ministers has resigned and they have submitted their resignation to Lieutenant Governor Tamilisai Soundararajan. Now you can see here this development took place recently. But in this discussion, we are not just going to talk about what happened, but how all these things happen also. Let's first talk about what exactly happened. Now, earlier there was Kiran Bedi, who was the Lieutenant Governor of Puducherry. We all know the problems between Kiran Bedi and CM Narayanasamy, right? But now the new governor, Tamilisai Soundararajan, as soon as she took office, she called for a floor test because it was quite understandable that the ruling Congress and DMK, it had lost majority after many of the MLAs had resigned and changed sides. They changed their allegiance from Congress to the other parties. And the result that took place in the floor test was quite expected. Everybody knew that Congress DMK had lost majority because of spate of resignations over a month or so. In last 1.5 months, 8 MLAs from the Congress and the DMK, Dravida Munnetra Kadagam alliance, resigned. 7 from Congress and 1 from DMK, they resigned in past 1.5 months. And the ruling coalition strength, it was reduced to a mere dozen legislators in a house whose strength is 33, whose current strength, I would say, is just 26, which is short of the majority, right? So quite expected that the government was going to fall. And before the floor test itself, after giving a very lengthy speech, Chief Minister Narayanasamy and his Council of Ministers eventually resigned by giving the letter to the Lieutenant Governor. Now, what happened in the House? In the House, before the floor test, first of all, CM Narayanasamy, he raised the issue of voting rights of 3 nominated MLAs who belong to BJP. He questioned that they are nominated and they have been nominated recently and they should not vote, etc., etc. He demanded a clarification from the speaker, which led to a heated argument, debate, and eventually Narayanasamy and his MLAs, they staged a walkout just before the vote, right? But even before that, the CM Narayanasamy, he delivered a very, very long speech. Almost an hour-long speech was delivered by the Chief Minister, where he criticized Bharatiya Janata Party and their strategies. In fact, his criticism was very, very scathing. He used the term that BJP is resorting to nothing short of something called as political prostitution, right? And he said that those people who have switched their allegiances from the Congress DMK ruling coalition to the other party, they have switched sides. Those are opportunists and the voters will eventually teach them a lesson. Now, this was some kind of a vitriolic speech which was given by Narayanasamy, obviously. And everybody knew that the fate of the government led by CM Narayanasamy was already a fait accompli because many of the MLAs had deserted already. But here in this particular discussion, we are going to talk about this so-called strategies of BJP, which they use to topple the government. Because I told you that even you can learn a few things, right? Especially those who are preparing for the examination. The first thing that BJP did was to follow their aim. And what has been their aim right from the beginning, from 2014, they have been harping upon Congress Mukt Bharat. And this is one kind of a strategy which I feel every aspirant should follow. Why? The way BJP is following their particular aim, that they want a Congress Mukt Bharat, they are following it ruthlessly, they are following it consistently, and they are following it very, very passionately, right? If you look at many instances, what they have done is, even if they have not formed a government, it doesn't matter, but they do not want a Congress government in many of the states. That is a kind of ruthlessness that you need in nailing the exam also. Just remember what is your aim. If you want to become an IAS, IPS, whatever it is, just have an aim and work ruthlessly. Again, ruthlessly in the sense for yourself, put in that hard work, put in that consistency, and results will come your way, right? So what did the BJP do? Their aim of Congress Mukt Bharat, they have been pursuing it all along. They did it in Goa, they did it in Manipur, they did it in Arunachal Pradesh a couple of years back, they did it in Madhya Pradesh very recently, they did it in Madhya Pradesh recently where they toppled the government, and now it was turned Puducherry. And if you look at Puducherry, this Puducherry was a very, very shrewd strategy. Why? Because of the timing. It happened just ahead or just before the assembly elections, just a couple of months before the assembly elections. Now, I cannot say that BJP is hungry for power, because election is coming, a free and fair fight will go on, obviously. So criticism of BJP will not happen, but criticism of Congress will happen for sure, because Congress was not able to maintain its own MLAs. Congress leadership failed to retain power. They failed to retain their own MLAs just for 3 months. The election is down in 3 months and they could not control their own group, their own coterie. Now, this is a huge, huge problem, a big question mark over the Congress leadership and probably the Alliance Congress and DMK also. Apart from this, the BJP did strategize very well. Let me tell you the second strategy that they used. They replaced Kiran Bedi. Now, Kiran Bedi was a Lieutenant Governor of Puducherry, and we all know that Kiran Bedi and CM Narayanaswamy had a tussle for a very long time. In fact, CM Narayanaswamy had criticized that the Lieutenant Governor, Kiran Bedi, was running a parallel government in Puducherry. So, they had their long drawn out battle. But what BJP did very, very smartly, they removed Kiran Bedi as Lieutenant Governor when recently, February 17, the news did come that Kiran Bedi is removed, and that too on the brink when Puducherry Congress government is about to fall. Alright, so this was a very good strategy. Now, the next strategy was to bring a replacement. Now, the replacement was also very, very smart. Who replaced Kiran Bedi? Right? Kiran Bedi, I would say a North Indian, was replaced by a South Indian. It was a very, very strategic decision. She was replaced by Tamilisai Soundararajan as Lieutenant Governor of Puducherry. She is already Governor of Telangana. Again, remember, she is Tamilian. Now, that is why I've written here, what is Sarkaria Commission? What are these commissions who recommend that the governor should be from outside? Who cares about that, right? See, the Tamilian Lieutenant Governor has actually given a lot of benefits to BJP, or it is going to give some benefits to BJP for sure, right? BJP has avoided criticism that they have brought an outsider into Tamil Nadu or Puducherry, correct? Now, if you talk about a Tamilian as Lieutenant Governor, this is also expected to boost BJP in terms of perception among the Puducherry voters going into future. So, by flouting, I wouldn't say the rules and regulations, by flouting the recommendations of various commissions, I would say perhaps even Jawaharlal Nehru, who said that the governor should be an outsider or should be far away from the local politics. By flouting all these precedents, they have appointed a Tamilian, which might give them an edge in future. Now, apart from that, their strategy of what to do next has also been kept open, meaning they have ensured that the Congress DMK coalition falls down. Alright, it has already fallen down. But BJP have still remained undecided whether to form government for a short period of time or not. And if you look at BJP leaders and their ideas, they're already telling that we do not appreciate a government for such a short period, because if we form a government, that might put a wrong perception on the voters, that is for sure. But one of BJP's ally, NI Congress, they want to get a new government in Puducherry. Now, when I say state, just note that state or UT here, Puducherry, not an issue. But remember, whatever be the outcome here, if BJP and the allies, they form a new government or they go for the election, it is going to be the gain for BJP. Why? Because you do remember that the BJP's aim is Congress Mukt Bharat. Now, if you are thinking that why I am repeatedly telling Congress Mukt Bharat, because if you look at the game plan of the BJP, it is not a short game, it's a long haul. try to simply understand that as soon as you get your aim of a Congress Mukt Bharat, which is the main competitor of BJP, because I would say BJP is the biggest national party and its potential competitor is Congress. And once there is Congress Mukt Bharat, who will be left out in front of BJP? Only regional parties. And BJP, perhaps they do know that they can, I would say, annihilate, a little strong word, going into future, probably in another decade or so, they might end all these regional parties also. A very, very interesting long haul. Again, it's just a speculative discussion that I am having here. But nonetheless, whatever happens, Congress is already weakened in Puducherry and it might strengthen their ally DMK. But BJP are not worried about that. I told you that BJP's aim is Congress Mukt Bharat, Congress Free India. So they are working towards that. That is why I told you, students, please have an aim like that, where you work consistently and where you work passionately towards that. Apart from that, the final strategy that BJP has, where you again have a pointer for yourself, for those aspirants, is timing is very, very important. Now, what BJP leaders suggested is that they were already in touch with many of the Congress legislators for very, very long. And in fact, the statement was that they could have brought down the government anytime. So confidence is something that is very important for everybody. And BJP had that confidence, and aspirants should have that confidence while preparation also, that whatever challenges come, that you will take care of those. So BJP was ready with that. The only thing was the timing. And right now, just on the eve of the elections, they have ensured that the Congress and the DMK alliance falls, which gives the time perhaps to all the MLAs who have deserted the Congress DMK, from DMK and Congress camp, they have come to the BJP camp. Now, in this election fervor, it will be very easy to capture or capitalize on the angst. And the people who have shifted to BJP, they can now ensure that the election season is coming, and they can go for campaigning, and they can ensure that the support base that they have, that the electorate they have, they can maintain them and ensure a victory now for the BJP going into future. So very, very interesting strategy of BJP, and in the coming months are going to be more interesting for entire nation, with BJP trying to spread its wings in southern India. The elections in Tamil Nadu, in Puducherry, in West Bengal are going to be really, really interesting. So we will bring all the updates to you on Study IQ. That is it from my side on this part of discussion. I hope this was interesting for you, and for the aspirants, I hope you have or you will learn some strategies from the BJP here in your preparation also. That's it from my side. Thank you for watching. Jai Hind.